We got the Cybertruck Basecamp tent here. We're gonna open it up and check out what's on the inside. Like the actual tent itself, and then down here we've got the rest of the accessories for it. Holes for the awning, the brackets for the tent. Track brackets, the awning, more accessories, and the pump board, air pump. So we'll get some of these things out and get the brackets installed and see what things look like here. Yep. So we have the side brackets that go into the L-track for attaching the camper to. They're labeled L1, L2, L3, and R1, R2, R3. T25 Torx bit on here that you loosen these screws up and allows a little bit of play in these things for getting them installed in the L-track, and then you just tighten the Torx screw back down to lock them into place. So we'll get these things installed and move on to the next step. Okay, so we got the brackets installed, R1, R2, R3 all the way at the front. Basically this bracket's all the way at the back of the bed. The bracket R3 is all the way at the front of the bed. They tell you to have 18 fully exposed holes on between R1 and R2, 17 between R2 and R3. Just know if you've got these D-rings already installed, that takes up 2 of the openings. So these are all installed on both sides, ready to go. So we'll move on to getting the tent installed. Instructions say that the tent is about 90 pounds. There are 2 handles on the top where you can pick the tent up. Does not slide in between the rails though. Snug getting it in here, but there's the tent installed and sitting on those brackets, and then from there there's just a couple of set screws that get put in on the left and the right side to lock the tent into place. But that's it. It feels like installed there in the bed by one person. So we got the set screws that install here on both ends. They install on the L2 and the R2 tracks. A little bit of a pain to get in there, but the left side was challenging to get in, but once I had everything in place, the right side went in very easy. Same kind of set screw over here, so that locks the Basecamp tent in so that it doesn't move anywhere in the bed of the truck. Now the next thing that they talk about doing for actually setting up the tent is there are some T30 Torx screws up underneath the aero flap, which is this piece of the truck here. It does come with the tool and the kit to remove it, but I actually purchased from Amazon some thumb screws like this, just to make it to where I can take these things out toolless. So I've already removed them from the aero flap. So what we'll do once those screws are removed is it just lifts up. And there you go. A couple of clips that lock this aero flap into place. So Can't have this installed whenever the tent gets deployed, so we're going to just set this out of the way for now. Good. All right, so it says deploy the tent. First thing we're going to do is unclip these clips here. And just Velcro the sides. Get that back out of the way. And then underneath the Velcro there is a zipper to open up this tent cover. Then from there, the next step is to start unfolding the tent. There is a ratcheting mechanism here on this that little quick release to make it to where you can pull the tent out. Set this here. Extend the legs, which have just little spring-loaded push pins here to lock those into place. And there we go. That's the tent unfolded. So next step from here.
Unbutton the straps, the buttons at the top.
I'll unbutton these buttons up here. Okay, helps with kind of just packing stuff in.
Locate the two roof peak clips and attach them to the peak of the truck's roof. Pinch the top and bottom of the clip, hook it around the truck, press the metal tube into the gap.
Oh, I'm not sure what this clip is that I'm looking for yet. These clips here, looks like, yeah, let's come up here, right? Yeah. Oh, those clips, I got you. Here we go. There's the one for the passenger side. And one for the driver's side. Here we go. The one for the driver's side right here. Okay, let's stop for a second. Okay, so these are the clips that go onto the stainless steel trim between or over the driver's side door. It's a little spring-loaded clip. So this comes up here. It's actually nicely designed that it locks into place on that peak. And you take this little bungee cord with the plastic tube on it, shove it in there, so that's locked into place nice and secure on the driver's side. We'll go over and do the same thing on the passenger side. Again, we're just going to squeeze the clip, get it locked onto there. There we go, get that shoved in there, and then this clip is locked into place on the passenger side. The next step is taking this red strap here, connected to one of the air tubes. I've already done the one on the passenger side. It took me a second to find it, but this just simple clip to disconnect it. And these get clipped around this little area where the aero flap installs. Now, the instructions say that you can leave these things on the truck if you want to. Obviously, if you leave them to the inside, they can get in the way of the tonneau cover, but they tuck pretty easily here on the back side so that they're nice and out of the way if you want to just leave those things on there full time. But now that we got those connected, we'll move on to the next step of getting these hooked back up to the tent. So here we just reconnected this red strap back to the, says the inside of this air tube. So we'll walk around to the passenger side and do the same thing over there. Here we find the red clip, pull this out. There we go. Okay. So all the inflation valves and deflation valves look like they come open. So the instructions say to make sure you get these closed up. There are 4 of them, 2 at the front here and 2 at the back. So we'll get that one sealed up. This is the one we want to inflate from. Over here at this back corner. And the last one up here at the front. Okay, so the next step is we're going to unscrew this square cover off the top of the valve cover. Screw this adapter on. Do this the other way. This probably needs to be in here first. Easier. That on. Screw this guy on. And then I can attach my pump hose as such. Good. Okay, so we got the hose hooked up to the pump here. It says to inflate it to 1 psi to just check things. So we're going to just quickly start to inflate this. There is a little inflation gauge here on the pump itself, so you can kind of keep an eye on where you are. Say we're supposed to be looking for?
Tangles.
Can't tell. Yeah, so this was fighting us a little bit when we were first trying to inflate it. It turns out there's these little airbags that provide part of the structure of the frame. They need to be sitting on the lip of the tailgate, or of the bed. They were on the inside, was keeping things from really wanting to set up right. But here we've got them deployed on the front and the back, both sides, driver's side and passenger side, and then these flaps cover over like you would expect. Now that we got it inflated, we'll go ahead and just detach the pump, and you can remove this little adapter here. And once that is removed, you reinstall this little square shaped cover over that to seal it up. Once you've got that done, there's two straps that go underneath the tailgate just to secure this back end of the tent. We'll run those across here, the driver's side, and clip them in, and then they all have pull straps where you can tighten things down, make sure that it's nice and secure here. Okay, I think we're good on that. And then the last thing is we want to pull these front clips or straps to tighten them down. Passenger side. That should be it. So getting into the tent. Zippered entrance. Bungee cord strap here so you can walk the door up off to the side. Gotta get that done here in this wind. Put this up here like this as well. Put this bungee strap around here to keep that out of the way for now. So plenty of room underneath the tent itself for storage, which is nice. Here's your inside. You got a fairly thin, maybe about an inch and a half foam mattress on the inside here, but quite a bit of space on the inside for climbing into. So I'll take my shoes off here and we'll see how it fits. Well, just as a point of reference, I'm about 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. And if I lay down here, my head is touching the top of the tent here, but certainly plenty of room for 2 adults to be able to sleep in here. Looks like some overhead storage, some zippered bug screens here, let a little airflow in if you want. Another storage pocket, looks like up here. But yeah, the front of the tent here also has a zippered opening in it that does pass through to the outside. So, yeah. There we go. So in addition to quite a few storage pockets down the inside of the tent here, lots of places to tuck phones and charging cables, stuff like that. This whole side here also zippers down. You want to let more light in, make it a little more area in the tent. It's good weather outside. And this can be done on both the driver and the passenger side to really let a lot of extra light into the tent, like such. Just tuck these things back into there. All right, and then in addition to these side windows that we have here, the door back in the back also has a window that you can roll up with a little bungee cord to secure it here as well. There we go. But one other thing we just found here is if you ever need to get like right underneath the tent into that space, is there is a zipper here on this exterior rain fly where you could just zip this up part way, and that lets you have access underneath there without having to open the door completely. Yeah, there we go. All right, so breaking this thing down is as simple as clipping these clips and hold it underneath the tailgate. Unclip attach here, just a simple little loop to pull that retaining kind of plug out of there. So this thing off to the side. We want to unclip the red clip in here. Those red clips that we had put on it earlier for install. And then from there we just start opening up these air valves and letting it deflate. Let's see, there's another air valve here. Last one here. Okay. And then start just working the tent material back into the bed so that we can get it all back together. And there's a nice little cover that's kind of built into the tent here that you can use for helping pack stuff up, that it snaps back together and makes sure everything is tucked into the tent nicely. Such. Start folding the tent back up on the platform. Bag on the side there. There we go. Takes a little bit of finagling, obviously, to get everything back in the bag, but from there we should be able to re-zip the sides of this thing. zipper pin back here behind it. There we go. Definitely, like others have said on the forums, the bag is a little tight putting it back in the first time, but it seems like it relaxes over time after the first couple of 1 or 2 setups. So reattach this Velcro over here to cover up the zippered section. We'll come back to that in a minute. Got all kinds of zippers all pinned underneath here, so it's going to take me a minute to get this steer. So getting the zippers and everything to line up the first time packing it back up is a little bit challenging. You got to make sure that the zippers keep them out from the sides of the tent as you're starting to fold it back up. But as we can see here, we've got everything all zipped back up here. Start reattaching the Velcro to cover that up. And reclip our clips here to secure this part of the tent. And then these, make sure we get them, if you want to leave them attached like the instructions say you can do, just make sure you tuck them in on the outside of the area where the aero flap attaches, or the other option is just simply take them off, throw them in the accessory bag, and then you don't have to worry about them getting bound up or potentially damaged in the future. Okay. So reinstalling the aero flap, we're just gonna align these clips at the front here, and what I'm doing is get this pulled back out here. These big parts clips here, we're going to make sure we clip on these posts on both sides. So simply pops into place, push down on the back side of the aero flap, which locks in the other portion of the clip, and I'll take these 2 thumb screws and screw them back in. You don't have to film this, it's all packed back up and ready to go. Took probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes to get it packed up. We did fight with the bag a little bit the first time, but after we got it compressed down a little better, it certainly made it easy. I'd say 5 to 7 minutes to pack it up and you're good to go.